So there's been a couple of news since I've last made a video, and I do apologize guys, I've been very busy trying to create what news was basically shown. But Con Racing has created a new event basically called Con Racing News from the Pits, where you learn everything about all of Con's upcoming and release games in terms of the seasonal updates, etc, etc. But for Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crown, we got not only an ORC tease, but a house tease and much more. So without further ado, let's quickly discuss what was showcased at this event, because there's going to be some exciting things even coming at the end of this month too. So the first things was that Alan Janu announced this, that Test Drive Unlimited Solo Crown is coming to PlayStation Plus, which is pretty massive. Now, this is already going to help the larger player base on PlayStation, but I do wish at a time like this we did have crossplay. It sucks, but cross-region, I can understand. You may think that crossplay might be more important than cross-region, but unfortunately, cross-region I think is what everyone would agree on first, but we do need to have crossplay at some point after as well. That said though, if you do have a PlayStation, you do have PlayStation Plus, it means you can actually try the game without having to look at the reviews and see for yourself if it's actually worth your time. And it also means, because it's going to be present for at least 1 year, it means you'll be able to check out houses for free, the ORC for free, all the way up until next year this time, which is a pretty good deal. So there you go. TDUSC on PlayStation Plus. Let's see what was discussed next. So after that, we had another Alan Janu interview where he went over basically the past of TDUSC and what could be the future. So he will be discussing a couple of things here, but there are some gameplay sections in this interview that might be very interesting to you. One of the first ones is right here. Now, you may think, okay, it's just the car coming up to a stop, but actually, on the left-hand side here, you can see obviously a work in progress, but our first look at a detective pop-up. Now you're going to learn more about detective missions in more detail in March, but here you can see there's contract terms, which is the car that you're following. So it shows the weather, the traffic, road conditions as well. And there's some stuff here in the background with a 0 and a 1, but don't really know much about it, but maybe we'll learn more about that later on. So one of the most important questions is when you ask this, what is the TDU DNA? Now, as you guys know, at the launch of TDUSC, it wasn't fully going towards the direction of a Test Drive Unlimited game. You know, the lifestyle, there was more emphasis on racing than there was on lifestyle, and you can quite literally tell that, but you can also tell that TDUSC is finally going in the lifestyle direction when you take a look at all of the improvements and stuff that's been added so far. Another important thing up on the screen is finally the 488 taillights have been fixed, so the indicators and reverse light are finally going to be working in the upcoming season. But here in this section, Alon really cements the whole point of Test Drive Unlimited is a lifestyle game first, and racing of course comes after, and that unique experience of lifestyle is what we have to focus on for the upcoming releases, which is really good to hear. The next thing is this, the first clip of the Pininfarina B95 in TDUSC. Now, of course, this is an electric car, and I think it's one of the last electric cars to arrive in year 2, maybe ever, but yeah, who knows. But the B59 is actually a pretty interesting car. The funny thing is, I think I said B59 again, but anyways, the B95. Now, it is a roadster, which is pretty cool. So you guys can see here what it looks like. The rear, there's no dynamic wing like there is in the regular Batista, but there is a roadster, and this little section, you can see it lift up and down when you use your spoiler, so it raises and lowers the actual small windshield. You can see here 2 seconds, 300 top speed, 1900 brake horsepower, a pretty crazy bespoke car. Now, I do understand one thing that the community has said when they saw this car being revealed. Now, the first thing is that, okay, it's an electric car, which already the community isn't really a huge fan of. And then the other thing is this. Of course, when you think about Roadster, this, as I do recall, was in TDU 2. But when you think about Roadster, you also think about the Sterling Moss, which is a crazy non-electric roadster of, I don't even know what it's based on. I think the SLR McLaren, I think. I could be wrong though. That's basically what I assume it's based off of. But when you think about that, listen, I can't ignore the community. I totally understand why you'd want this over the Pininfarina B95. But we have a roadster, and yeah, hopefully we don't see any more electric cars coming into TDUSC's future. And funny enough, as we go back to the video, he literally says here, so it can be racing, but especially in TDU, it's not just racing. So we're definitely on the right direction. Everyone is on board of what we know could be it. But that is exactly what we want to hear. Next, what features are coming next in year 2? Now, we know the ORC, we know these clothing stores, we know houses, but do we get any teases of them? Well, yes, we do. Let's take a look at what we have teased for us in this video. First, we have the Season 6 Mario, which gives us a little bit of revs as well. And if I have the clip still, I'll show you guys what it sounds like. But yeah, here we have the Mario looking quite nice. Next, we got some gameplay of the official racing center, which you guys can see here. So there's some chairs, the desk, and that's all we really see. Of course, it's a work in progress, and there's much more to learn about the ORC and much more about it. But there we have the official racing center. He also talks about the improved live events and Solar Pass happening in Season 7, but there's also the clothing stores arriving in Season 6, which looks very beautiful so far. The Sharps was actually redesigned from when the last time we saw it, and it looks a lot more polished, I have to admit. So really good job, and honestly, it's nice to see the differences, at least in the improvements, when you look at TDU2 to TDUSC. I know it's still a very slow development process, but in fairness, everything that has been added from TDU2 into TDUSC is definitely much more improved. Next, he talks about houses, and we've already kind of talked about this a lot. Of course, be able to customize your house, walk around your house. This is a house tease, so you can see that finally we're getting some little bit more info. I'm going to pause it right here. On the top right corner, you can see another house in the background. I would like to assume, obviously work in progress, because you can kind of see those shaders on it. And on this side, you can also see some more work in progress stuff, but nonetheless, houses is going well in development. That said though, the customization aspect of it is going to be there, much more improved than TD2 and a lot more. Next, he talks about the future of TDC and what it can be. And honestly, all it is lifestyle. Focus on lifestyle. Let's be honest, guys, with the Crew Motorfest and Forza Horizon 6 coming out soon, I don't think all of a sudden Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is going to die. I say this because most of the player base that is actually on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown won't really jump ship all of a sudden and never play TDUSC again. There's of course going to be people who do play Forza Horizon 6, like even me. I will be playing Forza Horizon 6. But the thing is, I will still be playing Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. There are people who like to play more than one racing game at a time, and that's totally okay. But that said, focusing more on lifestyle and differentiating even more so the difference between TDUSC and Forza Horizon and Motorfest is exactly the direction we have to go to improve not only TDUSC but the TDU DNA itself. But that's everything we learned in the Nikon Racing news from the pits regarding Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, guys. If you did enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe for more TDUSC content. I'm Alex7. I'll see you guys on the video. I'm out, guys. Peace.